Hello everyone and welcome back to the Corsace Open Finals weekend. We've just come off of an absolutely fantastic nail-biter between P-Model and P-Model unfortunately dropping out of the tournament and solidifying their spot in the top 3 as our last team going into the Grand Finals weekend. Both of these teams here in the Winners Finals matchup, however, Whispering Almond and El Dupa already have locked in their spot in that Grand Finals weekend. These teams competing for a spot in the top 2, and for the winning team in this matchup, a winner's bracket advantage going into the Grand Finals. My name is Dio. I'm going to be casting this match alongside one of the victors from the previous matchup. Welcome, Fiery, and congratulations on the win in the top 3 spot.
Thank you. I feel like I am going to have heart problems very soon, but hey, you know, sometimes that happens. But hey, we got a winner's bracket matchup, as you said here, Whispering Almond versus El Dupa. It's going to be quite the matchup. Whispering Almond has been just absolutely dominating their side of the bracket, already taking down P-Model and Team prior to get to this point. El Dupa on the other side of the bracket, taking down worthy opponents such as Donate Blinds as well. And this should be a very, very interesting matchup, to say the least.
Yeah, this is interesting for more reasons than one, right? Not only the lineups for both of these teams are pretty star-studded, but also this is Seed 3 versus Seed 4 out of the qualifiers, rather than what you would usually expect in the winners finals would be Seed 1 versus Seed 2. And actually, with the exit of P-Model, I believe both Seed 1 and Seed 2 now from qualifiers are actually eliminated from the tournament, so we've had a full upset run for quite a lot of the tournament at this point. But looking at the rosters, it's no surprise why these upsets are possible. Airyu, Bubbleman, I'm a Fancy Lad, Badu, Bartek, Matthew, Ezreal, and Kablaze on the side of Whispering Almond. You can look at any one of those players and say, yeah, when it comes to, for example, the OS World Cup, that player is a main carry for their team. You put them all together on one team and you get one hell of a well-rounded, star-studded roster that can perform on just about any skill set you throw at them.
Yeah, they have one of probably, I would argue, the most well-rounded roster of everyone remaining in the tournament, especially. I would argue it's just in the tournament in general. You have tech players, Airyu, Fancy, Badu, star tech players. Bubbleman just kind of does everything. The famous 1v1 man doesn't really have a weakness at all. You have Matthew, Speed, Demon, Azerite, also up there with the speed players. Not as good as Matthew, but definitely able to compete. Also Accuracy, Legend, might I add. Kablaze as well, speed, all-around consistency. Just an overall insanely consistent team for Whispering Almond. El Dupa, however, Trev Rasher, double-time man himself, Chummick Box, FCing the Atamano Taisu Hard Rock in Poland OWC tryouts, might I add. So that is something to look forward to. We also got Exarch, notable USA player, Fleslin, Missia Stoof, and Twaja and Twajstari.
Yeah, honestly, the lineup for El Dupa is super scary as well. I mentioned a few of the skill sets for those players, but we're already getting into the draft, by the way. A Hard Rock 1 ban out by Whispering Almond. El Dupa doing fairly well in the Hard Rock 1 last weekend, but honestly, the overall skill set change from last weekend's Hard Rock 1 to this weekend's Hard Rock 1 just makes it a very different type of map. Lots of longer streams in this Hard Rock 1, lots of flowing requirement in this Hard Rock 1. So not super surprising that some of these teams have been favoring banning that map instead of letting it get picked. Nomad 3 banned out by El Dupa. That's been a pretty common map to see banned out as well. And we saw last set for good reason. It was a very, very difficult map. So tricky to keep your combo together on all of these ridiculous slider shapes all throughout the map. And Whispering Almond in the semifinals with pretty fantastic scores on Nomad 3 and honestly pretty fantastic tech players, especially you look at players like I'm a Fancy Lad and Badu, and those two in particular are just going to scale infinitely into the tech maps throughout the tournament. So absolutely great reason to ban it out from El Dupa's side. On their side, though, they do have some pretty strong players when it comes to a few particular skill sets. I'm looking mainly at like Trevrasher and Fleslin, along with Stoof and Toystada for a lot of their speed players. Mistia and Mishni and Exarch, along with Chomik Box, and you've got a very, very strong reading, hidden, and gimmick lineup on that team as well. So all of these players can compete on a lot of the different types of maps. We got some rapid fire picks getting thrown out here. Whispering Almond taking their time with Double Time 1 before basically an instant Hard Rock 3 pick from El Dupa.
Yeah, the precision-oriented pick from El Dupa. I would argue not too surprising. Stoof, Exarch, and I think Chomik Box as well. Pretty decent at that precision-oriented gameplay. DT1 from Whispering Almond, not too surprising as well. You got the aim star players and just general DT consistency players. Bubbleman, Matthew, you have Kablaze. You could pretty much just put anyone in for DT1 on that roster and you would be fine.
Yeah, even looking at some of the players that you wouldn't normally expect to go in on a Double Time 1 in a team tournament, but still have some ridiculous aim on that team. Like Badu, for example, could probably still go in well enough on Double Time 1 and just double tap some of the bursts and still get a really strong score just because of the heavy aim focus in that map. His aim, obviously, very well known for being very good at that skill. Nomad 6 ban out by El Dupa, I think, is a little interesting. You've got a few players on that team, Stoof in particular, alongside players like Exarch and Trevrasher, who I think would do very, very well on a map like Nomad 6. But El Dupa have taken to banning Nomad 6 in the past. They did ban it out in the semifinals, and we did see very strong scores out of Whispering Almond, Kablaze in particular, with a 730,000 score on that map, which is it's not a full combo, but it doesn't need to be. That's enough to nearly solo carry a map that is that niche in terms of the skill set that it does test. So it does make a little bit of sense to see that banned out. DT4 as well from Whispering Almond, I think makes quite a lot of sense given those 4 players that I was just talking about. They are going to be absolutely fantastic at that sort of map.
As El Dupa to follow up with their next pick. Would not be too surprised to actually see Low AR Hidden come out from El Dupa here. They did really well on that last weekend. And this is, I would argue, more or less the same. The Low AR Hidden this week being a lot more focused on just raw flow aim mechanics rather than, well, a bit of both. Flow aim and reading. So I would not be surprised if El Dupa brings that out to the table, however. Could easily go for something such as Hard Rock 2 here. Free Mod 1 is going to be the pick instead, which, after Hard Rock 1 ban, I think that's reasonable.
Yeah, this Free Mod 1 in this map pool is, it's kind of similar to what you see in some of the patterns in Hard Rock 1, but it's a lot more of a focus on these big circle, high density jumps. AR9 as well, really, really tricky to aim properly because of how awkward a lot of the patterning is in this map. So if you take Hard Rock, the circle size is only somewhere around, I think it's 4.7 or 4.8, somewhere around there. And if you do take Hidden, it's AR9 with Hidden. So the Hidden players on this map, with that awkward aim and with that AR9 density requirement, are going to have a tough time making sense of a lot of the patterning. And I think if you have a team that can lean very well into Hard Rock, which is definitely the case for El Dupa, and I think definitely a smart pick, like you said, with the Hard Rock 1 ban and with the Hard Rock 3 pick, I think they're very clearly leaning into the strength of their Hard Rock lineup.
Whispering Almond to follow up with their next 2 picks. They have been very strong on Double Time, so I would not be surprised to see DT2 or 3 be picked here. Nomad 4 is going to be the pick instead, as a matter of fact. This was not picked by them last time around, and El Dupa actually did get a fairly good team score on the Nomad 4 last weekend. So that is quite interesting. However, definitely not an unheard of pick from Whispering Almond. but I do have another pick to follow up that Nomad 4.
Yeah, Whispering Almond should still be fairly strong on these alt picks. They have a still very strong lineup with a lot of very good aim control players. Players like Fancy Lad, Badu, Bartek, Bubbleman, Aryu, even Blaze, Matthew. Honestly, any of the lineup can go in for that, but I think if you're looking at particular players, it's probably players like Fancy Lad, Badu, Bartek, and maybe Aryu or Bubbleman going in for that map, and that is a very, very scary alt lineup. Fremod 3 as a next pick for them is also a little interesting. It's the Mordred low AR high circle size map in Fremod. Lots of pattern aim and with a slight stream focus. It's not anything too ridiculous in terms of the patterning, but it's a little similar in terms of how the map is structured to something like Fremod 1. So two similar styles of Fremod maps being picked up by both teams, just with very different metadata between the two of them. Much higher circle size for Fremod 3 and much lower approach rate as well, into a now just Nomad 1 pick by El Dupa, going with the raw aim focus here.
Yeah. Given their prior picks, I guess except for Hard Rock 3, but Hard Rock 3 is also a lot more aim-centric, but with a slight precision focus. Not too surprising to see Nomad 1 being picked up from El Dupa, and I imagine that is going to be what they pick up next, is just more of that generic raw aim consistency. Fremod 2, going to be banned from El Dupa, the gimmick finger control map in Fremod.
Yeah, I think if you're also banning out Nomad 6 and Nomad 3, a Fremod 2 ban makes quite a lot of sense. You're just not wanting to deal with a lot of the trickier maps in the pool, a lot of the more finger control focused maps in the pool. I think that might be reason enough for Whispering Almond to abandon the Double Time 4 ban if you're looking at something like the set 2 pick and ban strategy from here, because it seems like El Dupa is going for a lot of the more straightforward maps that are left up in the pool, just going for almost sort of raw mechanics tests in terms of Hard Rock 3, the precision test, Fremod 1, the either density or just Hard Rock aim test, and then Nomad 1, the super basic aim map in Nomad, everybody's favorite RNG pick there, Nomad 1. So it seems like they're just going for these very simplistic styled maps instead of any of the really tricky finger control stuff, which they've instead been banning out. So Whispering Almond may be looking to change up the ban strategy a little bit, and they do ban out Nomad 2 actually instead, despite having some very, very strong speed and stamina players on their side. So I think they're sort of recognizing the same thing, that El Dupa is going for some of these more simple styled maps.
And Nomad 2 definitely fits that criteria, just raw flow aim. Not much else to that map. There are a few weird stream shapes here and there, but it's mostly just flow aim. So banning that out, getting rid of the possible generic option that they would pick, it makes sense. And they're going to be going for Hidden 2. That is not generic.
That is most definitely not generic. It's a flow aim map, granted, so similar to Nomad 2 in that regard, but that's about where the comparison stops. And I think this is a little interesting because they've banned out Hidden 2 in both the semifinals and quarterfinals matches for El Dupa. So this is a very clear departure from their previous pick ban strategy. They have had some very good maps in the hidden mod pool in general, but overall they've been seeming to prefer Hard Rock or Nomad or Fremod over the hidden pool, and in fact they almost completely avoided it in the semifinals. They only played Hidden 3. They completely avoided Hidden in the quarterfinals in favor of Hard Rock, Nomad, and Double Time. So this is a very, very clear departure from what they have usually done. I'm going to be interested to see what kind of a lineup they're going to put up for a map of this caliber of that skill set, because it's something that we just haven't seen from them throughout a lot of their past matches.
And the Hidden 1 pick from Whispering Almond. You would think that is the generic aim map, but in Corsace that is the awkward aim hidden-oriented map. Actually, very hard. You would be very surprised at how hard it is to aim those types of jumps that are in that map.
Yeah, very understarred, similar to something like Fremod 1, where you've just got these jump patterns that look fairly simple, but the angles at which you're required to move your cursor just make it so much more difficult than it would usually seem. So that's going to be relatively similar to some of the other maps that we've seen so far. And now we're going to be getting into our first pick for both of these teams. Double Time won the first pick up here from Whispering Almond. They've got some pretty fantastic Double Time players on their team. You know, you look across their lineup, you see people like Airyu, Bubbleman, I'm a Fancy Lad, Bartek, Matthew, Azerate as well, I think are all viable players to go in on Double Time 1. Even in a pinch, if they're missing some of those players, Badu and Kablaze would not be bad choices for a map like this, so they've sort of got their run-of-the-mill with the lineups here. They can pick exactly whoever is feeling comfortable, and that's what's so nice about having a lineup that is filled with all-rounders, is that generally people are comfortable on most things, and you can pick the players who are most comfortable on certain maps, or who's feeling that map on the day, rather than relying on the same 4 players every time for the same skill set.
The rosters from each team are going to be decided. Bartek, Matthew, Azerate, Fancy in for Whispering Almond, Exarch, Chomic, Fleslin, and Trev in for El Dupa. Fairly expected rosters from both sides, I would say. We're going to be getting into this DT pick. 10.3 raw aim consistency with a couple of bursts here and there. But it's all about that aim consistency, and we're going to be seeing few early drops. Trev Rasher and Chomic Box struggling very much on this, as well as Fleslin. No FCs on the side of El Dupa already. Exarch with a very early miss. It's going to be Matthew and Fancy Lad to carry on the FC. Never mind, there goes Fancy Lad, Matthew. Now the only FC.
Yeah, this map's a little bit burstier than you would usually expect from a Double Time 1, and some of those buzz sliders after the burst can be a little tricky to keep the combo on, and in between those, you've got to deal with all the aim, which is how Matthew loses his combo. It's now Fleslin and Chomic Box actually with the highest combos on either team for El Dupa. We see multiple resets across the board for many different members. Bartek and Azerate, Exarch, and Trev Rasher also dropping in short order with Fancy and Matthew. So it is really just now Fancy holding on to a high-ish combo for Whispering Almond, and Chomic Box and Fleslin trying to bring this back. The accuracy difference doing work for Whispering Almond, though. Look at that 97, 98 across the board, 93, 94 on the only high combo Chomic Box, and 91, 92 for Trev Rasher. So definitely an uphill battle for El Dupa if they want to take this as a break point. Looking good, however, for Whispering Almond's first pick.
Yeah, Matthew and Chomic Box so far, really the only players that can consistently hold a combo right now. Everyone else just missing all over the place. Fancy is getting there, but only 100 combo to his name as we get into, or we're gonna be getting into a bit more of a bursty part in this section here, but both the high combos holding. And it's pretty much just down to Matthew and Chomic Box at this point. No one missing on that kick slider into the burst section. That section's very hard. Fancy does drop his high combo. Exarch is building up a pretty notable combo right now. So this could shift over. Combo advantage is slightly in favor of El Dupa. If they hold this, Chomic Box is going to be full missing that jump pattern though, and Matthew holding strong. Exarch gone. This is a disaster for El Dupa.
Yeah, but it's exactly as planned for Whispering Almond. Reminder, this is their first pick. You always expect the team who picks a map, especially on the first pick, to come out on top, and this is probably about as dominant as they would have liked to see. Over 750k by the end of the map for Matthew. Really nicely done. 2 million team score for Whispering Almond, and again, you look at the accuracies across the board, it's 96, 97 for just about all of the supporting scores, and Matthew with slightly higher accuracy than that as well, 98.6% on that high score from him, 800k at the end of the map, and meanwhile, the level of comfort for El Dupa is clearly just a bit lower, the accuracy across the board lower because of that, and I think that's generally how it's going to work for a lot of this match. I think a lean into some of the speedier maps can do very well for Whispering Almond. They've got some very, very strong speed and double time players on their team that even if this first set's pick and ban strategy doesn't work out for them, they've still got lots of options going into sets 2 and 3.
We're going to be getting into a Hard Rock 3 here. El Dupa, solid precision roster. Whispering Almond to counter that. We'll see what happens. This is the CS 6.7 pick. All about snap aim. A lot of awkward angles, a lot of wide angles, as a matter of fact. There are quite a few parts in this map that have, I believe, triples that are just across the screen, which make it very easy to miss, as well as corner jumps. is very, very hard to be fully consistent on this map.
Yeah, like you said, the corner jumps, the cross-screen linears in this map, all the other wide-angle jumps in this are just really, really tough to be consistent on. You see players, even like Reedcat, who is known for being very, very strong on high circle size hard rock, still have trouble with maps like this. Still have trouble putting up full combos consistently on maps like this. So
you say that
your aim is incredible. Even if you have that high precision skill, it's still going to give you a little trouble here and there.
You say that, but Reedcat did FC this in their matchup against the.
He did FC it against the, but yeah, you still see, for example, in Hm's matchup versus Donate Blind's MREC full comboing it once out of the 2 times that it was played. So definitely not the end-all be-all there. Just to be able to full combo it once, being consistent on it, like you said, is really the trickiest part.
And this beginning is definitely not taking any prisoners. Twaj, sorry, and Exarch, I believe, going to be missing in the beginning here. Everything else seeming to relatively calm down here as we get into a relatively easy combo section until the next chorus. But Fleslin is going to be dropping, so 4 FCs to only essentially 3 on the side of El Dupa now. As we get into the wide angle part, Fancy going to be missing afterwards. Exarch does trade the miss. And Airyu as well, also going to be missing during the chorus. Now Badu Bubbleman against Chomicbox Quadrastara.
Yeah, 2 pulls still left up for El Dupa. Make that 1 as Quadrastara does find a miss, and now it's just Chomicbox holding on. It's been a pretty consistent MVP for this El Dupa team, but unfortunately isn't going to be able to hold on to the combo past the first half of the map. Meanwhile, Badu and Bubbleman still going strong for Whispering Almond, still holding 2 full combos for their side halfway through, and this is... Well, last map it was fine. That was double time 1. It was the first pick for Whispering Almond. This time around, this is not what you want to see. El Dupa definitely should be putting up some higher scores on this map, but Whispering Almond looks like they're popping off. Bubbleman and Badu still going strong 3/4 of the way through here. Badu finally finds a slider break on the wide angles, and Bubbleman actually follows it up right afterwards. There's a little combo on Fleslin to try and take advantage, but the supporting combos aren't there from Exarch and Quadrastara. Chomicbox is building some, but there goes Fleslin's high combo, and I don't think there's going to be enough time left in the map for any comeback to happen for El Dupa. This is likely a break point for Whispering Almond.
Yeah, Fancy holding the combo at the end there, very key. Would have been a bit scary if Fancy broke and Fleslin was keeping his combo there as we approach the end of the map, but it will be 500k points in the lead of Whispering Almond. Fancy not having a fun time on that slow slider, but hey, happens sometimes. It's going to be a break point for Whispering Almond. 1 miss from Bubbleman, 2 miss from Badu. Very solid scores from them on that map.
That's really unfortunate for El Dupa. You always want to see teams be winning their first picks in these sets. It's usually their best foot forward, especially with how the bans are staggered in the map draft format here. So you want to be able to put out that best foot, and it looks like that wasn't possible for El Dupa this time around. Luckily, they do still have some other maps here, and it is best of 9 rather than best of 7, so they will get access to that No Mod 1 pick so long as they find a point here, at least with Free Mod 1. This is their second pick. Very awkward aim, sort of. Free Mod 1, CS 3.5, and AR9 with lots of really tricky angles to deal with throughout the map.
This is just testing your raw aim consistency all around. There is a slight, I would argue, a slight diff spike in regards to some of the spaced bursts in this map. You might see a couple of misses on those. There are 2 of them in the map, but you have played the map before. It should be fairly fine. One player does have to take Hard Rock and Hidden. A separate player with Hidden on this map, so we need at least 1 hard rock and 1 hidden per each team, rather.
I think with the hard rock 1 ban from the side of Whispering Almond, we'll probably see either multiple hard rocks for El Dupa, or maybe they've got a couple players who are just really that consistent on the no mod for this map, and they're just going for it for that reason. We do see a hard rock and a hidden from each team. Hard rock for Eru and Fleslin, hidden for Exarch and Bartek, no mod for Badu, Eru, Chomicbox, and Mistia. So yeah, just going with the no mods here for El Dupa, looking to have that extra consistent aim. And honestly, at this point in the tournament, in the finals weekend, definitely makes sense. You don't want to be flexing hard rock on a map where it really is testing your skill cap and overall aim, unless it's just an approach rate you absolutely cannot read. Early misses on the hard rocks, by the way, for Fleslin and Eru. Early miss for Chomicbox as well on the side of El Dupa. These early misses probably not going to matter all that much, but it does betray a little discomfort on the map for some of these players for El Dupa. Fleslin finding another set of misses as well.
This map is fairly consistent in its difficulty throughout. There are a couple of slow parts, such as this one, but when it gets into the courses, it is pretty much just non-stop jump patterns that anyone can miss on, so keeping a combo through that is going to be crucial. So far, we see 2 FCs to 3 right now. Chomicbox recovering very nicely as well. And there's the space burst I was talking about. Bartek, Eru dropping. Exarch follows on the jumps afterwards.
This is a tenuous combo situation right now, but there goes Badu, and it's no longer tenuous. It's absolutely in the favor of El Dupa. I was going to say, with Chomicbox and Fleslin with high supporting combos, they might be able to equal Badu. There goes Exarch and Fleslin from the side of El Dupa, but I think the supporting combos are still in the favor of them, with Chomicbox now on a good recovery, and Mistia, their other no-mod player, still on the full combo, matching Bubbleman's score. Bubbleman, of course, with pretty impeccable accuracy, 99.75%, but the combo is king right now, and the combo is definitely favoring El Dupa at the moment. But there goes Mistia, drops the full combo halfway through, and now it's only Chomicbox. These repeated resets from Exarch and Fleslin are actually doing so much to keep the overall score down, the overall combo down for their side. And now Badu and Eru, along with that extra, say, 70 combo on Bubbleman's full combo versus Chomicbox reverse choke, are just building up more and more score lead for Whispering Almond. That's exactly the type of thing you didn't want to see, but there goes Bubbleman!
That is a miss and a half. And that does give El Dupa a shot here. Chomic still holding his combo. Eru drops as well. Badu now the highest combo on Whispering Almond. Full reset from them. And Exarch and Fleslin now also building up slight combo advantages. Mistia as well. We could see the shift over real soon if everything stays as it is as we get into this little slow section here.
This is where it really matters to hold on to these combos. Misty with a slider break during this section. Chomicbox still holding that reverse choke. The score inching over towards El Dupa at this point. The supporting combos are that much better as well. Exarch and Fleslin both higher than Bubbleman and Bartek. And really, this high combo from Chomicbox just has to do so much here. If he can hold, this is a guaranteed point through this PI time. There goes Fledlin's supporting combo, so the onus really is on Chomicbox at this point. And there goes Badu. That's the high combo gone for Whispering Almond. So much pressure relieved from Chomicbox's shoulders there, as the score lead was actually starting to go back towards Whispering Almond. But now, absolutely in the favor of El Dupa. These supporting scores, however, Bubbleman, Eru, and Bartek still holding on to their combo, still putting the pressure on. Chomicbox holding here is absolutely clutch for El Dupa, as Exarch finds another break on the hidden. Mistia finds another break on the Nomad. Chomicbox finally drops that reverse choke, and
wait,
all
this is
three
a disaster
for Bubbleman, Eru, and Bartek are still holding. Eru does drop on the hard rock, but Bartek and Bubbleman are going to double-handedly take this back over for Whispering Almond. The supporting scores there at the end were just not there for El Dupa, and they were absolutely there in spades for Whispering Almond. 3 members holding strong, where only 1 was able to for El Dupa, and it's that team consistency, despite the 750k for Chomicbox, that gives it over to Whispering Almond.
You absolutely hate to see that if you're El Dupa. It was looking so good for them, but the Bubbleman Bartek combos at the end going to be helping Whispering Almond secure another breakpoint. Bubbleman with a 1 miss on the map on no mod. And we're going to be getting back into Whispering Almond picks. Nomad 4 is next.
You gotta feel bad for Chomicbox, man. He played his heart out on that map. Honestly, it was so close to being enough. 100k score difference, barely 100k on that map, but it just wasn't quite enough. The extra team support from Whispering Almond was really the difference maker there, and now we go from one aim map into another one, a very different style of aim map here on Nomad 4.
The song is so good, man.
Any Sonic Adventure 2 battle fans out there in chat right now? Any GameCube enjoyers?
I'll have you know, I'm actually a Sonic Generations enjoyer.
Okay. Not a bad choice. Not a bad choice. This map, though, definitely a little tricky. Lots of really tough aim control in this map. Lots of changes between flow aim and snap aim through this map. Lots of wiggles, and all at very, very high spacing in this one.
Yeah, this is just testing your raw snap aim as well as alt-oriented patterns in general. There's a lot of corner jumps that you would be very surprised at how difficult they are to hit. There's one in the second chorus especially that I think is like the hardest pattern in the map. Maybe I'm just entirely wrong, but we're going to be having Whispering Almond, the alt lineup coming in. Badoo, Fancy, Airyu, and Bartek in. Fleslin, Twojastara, Chomik, and Michny as Twojastari going to be coming in for El Dupa.
Looks like there might have been a timing update with this map at some point. I'm not sure if any actual timing updates happened with this, or if there's...
There was.
Okay, so we did get a timing update at some point. Hopefully that makes it go well for Fleslin here. We do see some pretty good flow aim players on the side of El Dupa, by the way. Chomicbox again in for this map, one of the consistently strong players for El Dupa. Twojastara and Michny both very, very strong on aim control in general. Lots of very, very good tech or flow aim plays in solo. And Fleslin as well, pretty strong on alt. So we've got to be optimistic here for El Dupa in the middle of this first set. Looking to try and take a breakpoint here in one of these next two picks. Off to an okay start with Airyu dropping an early miss for Whispering Almond, but Michny trades it right away for El Dupa along with Twojastara.
This map is very hard to get into the rhythm of pretty much immediately, so early breaks not too surprising. Fancy does trade as well. So combo advantage actually going to be in favor of El Dupa now. Twojastara and Michny both recovering nicely. Airyu and Fancy with repeated drops getting used to this map here, but Badoo and Bartek going to be countering Fleslin and Chomicbox for now.
We've still got two full combos on either team. I was going to say slightly better supporting combo for El Dupa, but I think it's the other way around at this point. And with that miss from Chomicbox, there goes one of the full combos left up for them. It's only Fleslin now left to hold on against both Badoo and Bartek. Luckily for El Dupa, Bartek does drop, but Twojastara having a lot of trouble putting together a consistent combo at this point. It's Michny with a very, very good recovery, but just not quite enough compared to both Fancy Lad and Airyu with these high supporting combos. So the extra support for El Dupa needs to come through. That extra team support for the carry player. This time around, it's Fleslin who unfortunately finds a slider break there. 99% still on the play, but the combo from Badoo is really what is making Whispering Almond now get the score lead taking off in their direction.
This is Badoo's time to shine, the alt player. This is the map you think of when you hear Badoo's name. You think, what an alt map that Badoo can play on this, and he is just going to be taking the score lead and running with it right now. Fancy as well with a very, very nice supporting combo. Michny doing his best, but it's just not enough support combo from El Dupa. It's going to take Fancy and Badoo both breaking. Michny with the highest combo breaking is not going to be helping things for El Dupa at all.
There goes Fancy, does find a slider break for Whispering Almond, but it is just Chomicbox versus the world right now. not quite the highest score, but highest combo on the side of El Dupa, and with Badu still holding the full combo, 99.75% accuracy on the full combo for Badu, by the way. Bartek with good supporting combo as well, matching really the combo from Chomikbox. Actually, there goes both Bartek and Airyu now. No supporting combo for Badu here. If there is a drop that comes through for Badu, Chomikbox has the ability to take this back. There's big combo on him, an okay supporting combo coming from Michny to at least match what Fancy Lad is putting up right now. But Badu is just still going, man. He's still holding on to this full combo. And as long as that's true, there's no way that Chomikbox takes this back. There's no supporting combo for either of these players. It's all on these high combos, and unfortunately for El Dupa, Badu's combo is high enough, I think, at this point to call it done. That's almost 300,000 score in the lead for Whispering Almond, and despite Chomikbox's best efforts, it's just not going to be enough versus the full combo from Badu.
The Badu method on the alt map pick here. Chomik as well with a very nice score of 700k on that. That is not easy to get by any means, but the supporting combo from Fancy and Airyu and just across the board for Whispering Almond going to be helping them win that map. Badu with the 99.34% FC. Chomik one miss, but even if he FC'd, it wouldn't have been enough.
No, even with the full combo, it wouldn't have been quite enough. They were down about 360, 350k on that map, so the total potential score on the full combo just not enough on Nomad to really make the difference. And that again comes down to, you know, some of these supporting scores for Whispering Almond being just that much better. It goes back to what we were talking about at the start of this matchup, where a lot of the players on Whispering Almond, you know, absolutely tank 1v1 players in their own right. And when you put them all together on a team like this with a couple specialists here and there like Badu, you can really make an absolutely fantastic supporting lineup for those S-tier specialists to come in, full combo the map, and have very good supporting scores to back them up, so that even if you get a pop-off from the other team, they still need that extra strong support even to make a full combo win out against you. We might be seeing something similar happen here on Free Mod 3. This is our low approach rate and high circle size Free Mod pick, and there are several players on Whispering Almond who would be fantastic at either of those skill sets.
And once again, this is Free Mod, and since this is the AR8 CS, I believe 5.2 on this actually picked, we are going to be seeing at least one player on each team with a AR8 hidden and a CS 6.7 Hard Rock. So at least one player having to go into those niche skill sets while the other two can remain Nomad on this.
I believe it should actually be right around CS, I think it's CS 6.9 right around there. This is CS 5.3 with Hard Rock, so even slightly higher than what we're thinking of. But this is going to be Hard Rock for Airyu and Chomikbox, not necessarily the players I was thinking about. Hidden for Bartek and Exarch, Nomad for Badu, Bubbleman, Mistia, and Michny. Looking to these Nomad players at this point in the tournament really to start popping off, for these modded players not to have to do the brunt of the work and to just be able to be supporting scores for either of these teams. Solid start for everybody here, no misses on the intro section of the map.
As we get into the streamy part of this map, you're probably going to be seeing a lot more misses. Airyu actually going to be missing on a repeat slider. So that does give early combo advantage to El Dupa here, but the stream section is not far behind this part. And that's where the map really starts taking off. Airyu actually struggling quite a bit in the early parts of this here. But we're going to be getting into the stream part. Chomikbox going to be trading as well. Exarch dropping as well. Michny gone. 3 FCs to 1 on Mistia now, and there is no response from Whispering Almond at all on these streams.
Yeah, all of them still holding. Bartek and Airyu actually do miss. Both the modded players, however. The two Nomads still going strong for Whispering Almond right now. SS for Bubbleman, and 96% accuracy on the full combo for Badu. And even if you want to talk about the accuracy, there's just nobody holding the combo to really make AC matter for El Dupa. Mistia and Mishni, unfortunately, with earlier misses and with continued misses in the case of Mistia and Chomikbox on the side of El Dupa. Bartek does trade misses with Chomikbox, but there's just massive, massive combos here for Whispering Almond, and at this point, look at the score lead. It's already 800,000 score and climbing in their favor. Still 2 full combos for
SS
Whispering
this?
Almond. Still SS for Bubble Man!
Okay. Yep.
Is he really going to SS this?
He did. He did. That's it. That's the spinner.
So we see an SS in the finals pool. Granted, it's no mod on a free mod pick, but that's not supposed to happen. You don't custom make maps for a finals pool and expect somebody to SS it. Even on no mod on a free mod pick, you just do not. It's not even on your radar for that type of thing to happen, and that's just how damn good Whispering Almond is performing today. Really, really strong 5-0 start to this match for them.
That is the 3rd SS in the entire tournament, by the way. Just a friendly reminder. It is very, very hard to SS any map in this tournament, and the fact that it was done in a finals pool is not okay. That's not fine.
It's really not, and you know, losing 5-0 already, right, in the set 1 of a winner's finals here. We do have a best of 3 sets, by the way, just to reiterate, this match is not over. We are going into set 2 now, after about 5 minutes. It looks like Whispering Almond wanting a quick break after that set to sort of regroup. We are going into set 2 shortly here, but talking about the mental blow, man, not only do you lose 5-0, you lose 5-0 to an SS on the last map from one of their players. Like, that is just ridiculous. The mental comeback has to be so strong from El Dupa to try and make set 2 happen. So hopefully they can actually use this 5-minute break wisely, sort of regroup, talk about their strategy, talk about what went wrong and what they can perform well on here in the second set, because this is where they have to make it count. They've got to bring this set score up to 1-1 if they want a chance at advancing into the top 2. We're going to take a short break and be back in about 4 minutes with the second set between Whispering Almond and El Dupa. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everyone, to the Corsace Open. We are here with the second set in this best of 3 sets between Whispering Almond and El Dupa. The first set went the way of Whispering Almond in an honestly very one-sided 5-0, ending off the set with an SS on Fremod 3 coming out of Bubbleman on the Nomad, and an overall ridiculous team score margin of victory for them in that map. Whispering Almond winning that one by over 1 million score as a team. El Dupa, however, with a few relatively close maps, 300k loss on Nomad 4, a 100,000 score loss on Kakukurao as well on Fremod 1, and with 5 minutes to reevaluate their pick ban strategy and hopefully come up with something slightly different here for set 2. My name is Dio, and I'm going to be casting this second set in the winners finals alongside Fiery Ridge.
Yeah, we're going to be needing to see a complete reset from El Dupa here if they want to have a chance. 5-0 in the first set is not what you want to be trying to come back from. You're going to have to see a lot of different bans, a lot of different picks come out from from El Dupa in particular, at the very least. Hard Rock 1 is going to be the match ban for Whispering Almond as the carried over ban from the first set. Pick between one of the 3 bans that you had in the first set, and it's going to be Nomad 6 for El Dupa.
Yeah, I think the Nomad 6 ban makes a lot of sense, along with the Hard Rock 1 ban for Whispering Almond when the other team was as close as they were on Fremod 1. I think Hard Rock 1 makes quite a lot of sense there. Nomad 6 as well. I don't want to go up against those really strong act players from the side of Whispering Almond, some of the best tech players in the tournament scene on their team right now. And Double Time 1 as well makes a lot of sense for a ban coming out of El Dupa after how one-sided that map was in the favor of Whispering Almond, their first pick last time around, working out very, very well for them.
Not too surprising, that was Whispering Almond's first pick, so just getting it out of the way, not really wanting to deal with that pick. Whispering Almond, I imagine, might go for a Fremod 1 ban here, unless they're feeling like they can do a bit better than they did last time. Otherwise, they'll probably go for more or less the same bans they did last time, just banning out the generic maps. Would not be surprised to see a Nomad 1, Nomad 2, pretty much anything generic. And there's Fremod 1 ban. That is the closest map. Whispering Almond still taking that, but only by about 150k thanks to Chomic Box's insane combo at the end there. It's going to be a Nomad 1 instant pick from El Dupa. That is going right into the generic maps.
And that's the last map that they had up that they did not get to see in the previous set, right? There were picks that were made last set that we just didn't see. Nomad 1 and Hidden 2 were the 2 maps that El Dupa went for last set that are still left up at the end that we just didn't get to see. So maybe we'll see them picking into those maps a little bit. We also saw Hidden 1 get picked up by Whispering Almond. But they're going to go with Nomad 3 this time around. The unbanned map. This was a previous ban from the side of El Dupa. That was their first ban last set. And they did not ban it this time around, instead choosing to match ban Nomad 6 and to ban out Double Time 1 first. So Whispering Almond saying, hey, there's probably a reason they banned this out against us. Let's go for it. We've got some really strong tech players on our team. Hoping that Badu and Fancy Lad are able to carry us through this pick with flying colors, especially after El Dupa clearly showing they are scared of Whispering Almond on that pick.
And I imagine Whispering Almond probably just going to be sticking with the generic bans. Probably going to be Nomad 2 again. They did ban that last time around. Would not be entirely unheard of to see that banned from them again. But we also could see other generic map bans. We still do have the Hidden 2 pick that El Dupa did, so maybe Whispering Almond not wanting to leave that open, but it will be Nomad 2. Same ban as before.
And Fremod 3 banned out now by El Dupa. Understandable.
Not wanting to deal with the SS. I respect it.
Understandable, yeah. Makes a lot of sense for that ban. I don't see why they would leave that up unless they suddenly found another player on their team who can just SS the map. It seems like a good ban. So now we really get into some of the meat and potatoes of the pick and ban phase. We get these 4 picks right in a row now. 1 pick for Whispering Almond, 2 picks for El Dupa, and then 1 more pick for Whispering Almond right before we get our last set of bans. If you're looking at how the previous set went, we could probably expect to see a map like Nomad 4 get picked up. Hard Rock 3 as well actually was fairly good for the side of Whispering Almond. It wasn't quite the highest score difference, but it was still 500k in their favor. It's not like they really struggled to put together that consistent team score, and those high scores from Bowman and Badu made it look fairly easy for them. So I wouldn't be surprised to see either of those get picked up. It's actually going to be Hidden 2, now picked by Whispering Almond. This was a pick from El Dupa last time around, too.
That is an interesting pick. El Dupa picking this last time, as you mentioned, and now Whispering Almond saying, you know what, we're going to be picking it into you guys instead, because we are confident on it. We have a roster for this. Let's go for it. That is the hidden tech map in the pool. A bit of a flow aim-oriented map, but there are a lot of slider patterns in there as well. Back-to-back picks for El Dupa now.
Yeah, that's maybe a wrench thrown into the plans here. El Dupa now picking in 1, so they just trade picks. You know, we're just gonna do a little, have a little fun here, do a little switcheroo. Pick Hidden 1 when we picked Hidden 2 last time. Pick Hidden 2 when we picked Hidden 1 last time. Just swap our picks around, no big deal. We also got Hard Rock 2 getting picked up by El Dupa. That is the AC test in the Hard Rock pool. Feels seasickness, in the Hard Rock pool. Really, really tough AC and aim control. Lots of really rough sliders in that map as well. Lots of variable beat snap divisors, like changes between 1/2, 1/3, 1/4, 1/6. So really, really tough one to do well on.
Moku Moku Okayu.
Save that for DT4. Save it for DT4.
They picked Hidden 1. What do you mean? Hidden 1 is the Okayu song, for those paying attention. We love VTubers here at Corsace Open 2021.
Speak for yourself, sir. I've remained clean. I've remained.
You say that right now,
but
you say that for now. Just wait until you see the grand final showcase happening right after this match at 20 UTC. I believe it's 20 UTC. Actually, it's 19. I don't know.
It'll probably be. It might be 19. It might be 19. If El Dupa lose this set, it'll probably be 19. If El Dupa win this set, it'll probably be around 20. But regardless, after this match, we'll be getting into the grand finals map pool showcase for Corsace. Fremod 2, by the way, the next pick from Whispering Almond. Well, they match banned Nomad 6, and they banned out Fremod 2 last time around, so I think this makes quite a lot of sense from Whispering Almond. El Dupa very clearly do not want to go up against them on maps like this that are very, very tricky in order to act properly, which is a little interesting considering the Hard Rock 2 pickup from El Dupa, but you look at players like Trevor Asher and Stoof on that team, and it starts to make a little more sense why they're going for Hard Rock 2.
Yeah, Hard Rock 2 and Fremod 2, I would argue, are pretty similar in terms of the fact that they're just impossible to hack, and they're a lot more gimmicky-oriented than a lot of the other maps that we've seen in this pool so far. A lot more gimmick maps this time around in general. Nomad 3, Hidden 2, Hidden 1, arguably. Hard Rock 2 and Fremod 2. Only really Nomad 1 for the generic map pick, and it's going to be Hard Rock 3 for Whispering Almond, despite taking that point very convincingly. I do think El Dupa did kind of underperform on that map, so banning it out, not too surprising. El Dupa banning out Hidden 3.
Yeah, not wanting to deal with some of the low pro rate hidden players on the side of Whispering Almond. I guess that Fremod performance really struck a chord with them, because they don't want to see any more low approach rate out of this team. You see players like Badu, Bartek, Bowman on their side, and I can kind of understand why they don't really want to play that map against them. The alt BPM flow aim Hidden 3 at AR8 is just there's so much that just becomes so easy to miss on, so hard to be actually consistent on, because it's not a map that you snap aim, which is usually how you make some of these low approach rate picks easier. Instead, it's the exact opposite. You're just flow aiming everything, and it's so easy to lose your way on a pick like that. Similar to No Mod 4, but a lot lower star rating, lower approach rate as well.
And No Mod 4 picking up from Whispering Almond, not surprising, Badu FCing that map last time, and I believe a 1-miss from one of their players on that as well. Not entirely surprising. They did win that fairly convincingly, and we're going to be seeing No Mod 5 as the last pick for El Dupa, going to be getting into the speed-oriented maps here.
So this is a little interesting. We saw Double Time 1 come out from Whispering Almond in the first set. It was very one-sidedly in their favor. They were absolutely fantastic on it. We've seen Whispering Almond play speed maps in general before and do very well on them, particularly in comparison to El Dupa. If you look at scores in the Double Time pool, it tends to favor Whispering Almond sort of across the board, and the No Mod 5 scores from El Dupa have not been super great throughout the tournament, so I'm wondering exactly who on their team is very, very comfortable with this map for them to be last picking it, right? That's your pick where if you are down 1, you are forcing the tiebreaker, and if you are up 1, you are trying to force out a set 2 on that pick and not get brought to tiebreaker on this map pool. So they've got to have some players who are going to be very strong on it. I'd be looking probably towards players like Trev Rasher, Exarch, Fleslin, and Mystia maybe as a lineup for that map. All of them very, very strong on the raw speed, and that map absolutely just a test of your ability to play. I believe it's 260 BPM on that one, so interesting pick ban strategies for both teams here in the second set. Very different from what we saw in set number 1, as we now get into a different first pick, No Mod 1, a map we have not seen yet between these two teams.
Just as a friendly reminder, actually, none of these maps we have seen, besides No Mod 4 from these teams, so all these picks are entirely brand new. Nothing besides No Mod 4 remaining the same. And we're going to be getting into the first one here, No Mod 1, generic aim consistency. When you think No Mod 1, you think of alert signs and a lot of jump aim.
By the way, lock in your predictions right now. It's about to close as we start up this first map between the two teams. We see Bancho trolling us with lots of early breaks, but it looks like everybody besides Exarch was able to hold on. I think Exarch with an extremely early break right at the start of the map, but it's going to do basically nothing to the overall score.
Yeah, this map is one of the longer ones in the pool. I believe around 30 minutes of drain time. It says 5 minutes, but there is a very long break at the beginning of this map. So early breaks not going to matter too much, especially when it's only, I believe, 5 combo for Exarch. Accuracy doing wonders for Whispering Almond as we get into here. Airyu with the SS holding strong. Getting into the first jump section here. Will be Fleslin to find the first miss.
A little under aim on a slider at the bottom right of the screen for Fleslin. Exarch and Chomikbot also finding misses here for El Dupa. Definitely not the start that they wanted here in the first PI time. Everyone besides Michni now down, as we see Badu, Airyu, and Mappy still holding on to the full combos. Bubbleman did find a miss right after Exarch. But this is still 3 full combos now to only 1 for Michni on the side of El Dupa. Exarch and Fleslin finding another couple breaks. There goes Mappy's full combo for Whispering Almond, so a little bit better of a situation from El Dupa, but you really want to see multiple full combo drops now from Whispering Almond. Maybe Airyu or Badu to drop the full combo, and these supporting scores for El Dupa to be a little bit consistent. It looks like Chomikbox can be relied on for that consistent comeback, but Exarch and Fleslin having a little trouble pulling back their combos together.
Airyu going to be unfortunately dropping the SS, but this map is incredibly hard to act properly. Well, not incredibly hard, but definitely hard to SS, so. Badu, Airyu, and Michni are the only combos now. Chomik building it up, but Bubbleman is there to essentially counter it for the most part for now. It's going to be taking one of these FCs on the side of Whispering Almond break as we get into the second hard part here.
still see Badu and Eryu holding these full combos. Michni absolutely needs to hold for El Dupa because of that. The only full combo left up here on Nomad 1. Luckily for them, Mappy and Bubbleland having a little bit of trouble keeping some consistent combo together. The supporting scores from Chomikbox, Fleslin, and Exarch looking relatively good right now, at least in the combo department. And the overall combo gap, I think not all that bad at the moment, but there goes Michni. That's the player who absolutely needed to hold for El Dupa and is unfortunately not going to be able to do so. But Badu and Eryu still holding 2 full combos, and despite all of these supporting scores, there goes Exarch on one of the smaller patterns there at the end of that KI time. Despite Chomikbox and Fleslin still holding on to good supporting combos, it pales in comparison to the double FC right now from Whispering Almond.
The two sides of Michni and Exarch there. Sad face from Michni, :D from Exarch. As we get into the jump section here, Eryu and Badu still holding despite the transition. Chomik as well, holding very comfortably through this part, but not really much you can do when there's just 2 FCs still holding very strong through this part. Badu is going to finally find a break, but Eryu's there to back him up. The score lead's still going to increase. There's just not any supporting combo on the side of El Dupa, unfortunately, aside from Michni, and that's not enough.
Yeah, this is unfortunately just not going to be quite enough for El Dupa. Chomikbox on this recovery is actually looking very, very good. Just the one early break, and otherwise now over 1,000 combo, but it's similar to what we've seen so often from these two teams already in the first set, as most of the time Chomikbox with an early miss and a fantastic recovery, but one member, doesn't matter who, one member on the side of Whispering Almond pretty much always holding on to a full combo or at least a matching score to Chomikbox, and the better supporting scores from the rest of the team making it easy to come out on top for them. 300k in their favor on Nomad 1. Nicely done from their side. Badu and Eryu in particular popping off the full combo from Eryu, and 2 miss from Badu, really doing numbers for their team score.
You know, an unfortunate 1 miss from both Michni and Chomikbox there. Those misses not happen, and suddenly it's in El Dupa's favor, but we're going to be getting into Nomad 3 now. Tech map, fast sliders. It's really all I can describe this map as. And I would argue this is probably the hardest map to full combo in the entire pool. Just the absolute raw consistency you need at tech and fast sliders and just weird patterns in general for this map makes it almost impossible to have a consistent combo on. I will be very surprised if we see combos up to the break. We did see one from Taquito in the previous matchup, but I do not imagine that that is going to be happening in this matchup.
Well, we've seen weirder things already in this match. We might be seeing somebody on the side of Whispering Almond combo up to that break, maybe even past it a little bit, because we've already seen some pretty ridiculous standout scores from some of the players on this Whispering Almond team. I don't want to count out El Dupa either. Some very strong tech players still on their side, looking at players like Exarch, if he can go back to some of the form he had on tech maps earlier, he'll be able to put up a very strong score. Chomikbox as well, still a very strong tech player, had good scores on Nomad 4 last weekend and was top scoring Nomad 3 for his team in the quarterfinals weekend, so looking towards some of these players to do very well on this map. We start on Michni, Chomikbox, and Fleslin in for El Dupa, Badu, Eryu, Bubbleland, and Fancy in for Whispering Almond. No real surprises for either of these rosters as we now get into Nomad 3.
This map is very, very difficult. We were saying that prior, but you will see with your own eyes just how difficult this map is. The beginning is marginally easier than the ending, I will say. So it is possible to get a bit of a combo build up in that beginning, but the ending just kind of hits you out of nowhere and then just no combo suddenly. Slow start for everyone here.
very tame intro in comparison to the rest of the map. Pretty much everybody having an okay time with the intro section here. A couple hundreds here and there for a few players. Nothing really to speak of so far.
And this is where the map really starts. This is where we're going to be seeing the breaks come in. Slider aim is the name of the game for this part. And so far, everyone actually holding consistent on it. Airyu going to be the first miss on the side of Whispering Almond, which gives combo advantage to El Dupa here.
Yeah, you never really want to count out some of these players on the side of El Dupa when it comes to tech maps. Mithe and Fleslin, however, do find a couple slider breaks. Airyu with repeated misses is not having a great time on this map, but the rest of the team seems to be doing just fine for Whispering Almond, still on 3 full combos for Badu, Bubble, and Fancy, as we see Toyostada and Chomic Box left as full combos on the side of El Dupa. And there's a two-way reset for Toyostada and Chomic Box. It's Badu and Fancy Lad who are able to hold on to the full combos here, going into the halfway portion of the map. Bubble Man did find a break alongside Toyostada and Chomic Box, but this is just a huge combo lead for Whispering Almond at this point. But Badu does drop the Fancy Lad.
What is Fancy doing?
Genius here, man. He is just going off right now.
Well, there's the combo at the break point we were talking about. Fancy going to be holding through that with a 97%. What kind of accuracy is that? S-ranks from Bubbleman, Badu, and Chomic as well. I'm not really sure what's going to happen in this last section here.
This is just sort of ridiculous from Fancy Lad. Yeah, he's comboed up to the break. He's still got the full combo. He's got 97% AC. The next best AC actually is pretty close behind him, Chomic Box and Bubbleman at 96.7 and 96.6 respectively. But Fancy's accuracy is still very good and still on the full combo as well. This is just relatively one-sided now. The supporting combos there as well for Whispering Almond, and we're getting into the ending section of the map. This is most definitely the hardest portion, and we'll see if Fancy Lad can hold on to the combo through the ending here, even with these breaks from the rest of the team. Okay, there goes everybody's combo, aside from Chomic Box and Fleslin, actually still holding on to some supporting scores here. There goes Fleslin's combo, Chomic Box with some combo to his name, but it's just not going to be enough. The score lead is too high, over 400k in the favor of Whispering Almond. That is going to be 2-0.
This is actually insane from Chomic Box, though. Holding at this ending is not easy at all. Like, what is he doing right now? What is this?
What is that?
This? He's going to finally miss, but, like, what was that? All of a sudden, if you didn't count the misses in the beginning, Chomic would have just had an insane pop-off score there.
What was that?
Badu S-ranked! Badu S-ranked! What happened?
This lobby, man. This lobby's too good. This lobby is actually too good. Some of these players are just absolutely ridiculous on these types of maps. We were looking at Chomic Box, we were looking at Fancy Lad, and we missed Badu. 700 combo S rank on that score. Bubbleman still 1 miss, by the way, on Bubbleman's score. 2 misses for Fleslin also. Like, so many ridiculous scores on this map just from this lobby alone. It comes out with Whispering Almond, the more consistent team score. You notice 3 of those players you mentioned on their team, and they are able to put themselves up 2-0 here at the start of set number 2 as well. Already up 1-0 in the set score, looking to just close out this match and guarantee themselves top 2 with a win here in the winners finals.
And Hidden 2 is much like Nomad 3 in that regard. Just raw tech slider aim, some flow aim elements to this as well. But Nomad 3, while being a lot harder than you would expect from a finals pool, Hidden 2 a bit more tame in that regard. This is a lot more comboable, I would say. And this is also Whispering Almond's pick, so up 2-0, getting into their next pick. They already have 1 break point. El Dupa need to respond, and they need to respond fast.
We're looking towards a lot of the Flowane players from El Dupa really to start making their way into this match and hopefully pull out some good scores on this map in particular. Mithe, for example, is somebody who has been very, very strong on Flowane Techcast and solo play, has been known to do very well on them in tournaments as well. I'm hoping to see good scores from Misty on this, but actually not in for this map. It's Twistata, Exarch, and Mistia instead joining Chomik Box for this one. So, okay, definitely a different lineup from what I would have expected to see from El Dupa. It's Kablaze, Azerate, Bartek, and Fancy Lad in for Whispering Almond as well. So, lots of new faces here on this map for both teams, actually. You see early breaks for both Azerate and Twistata on either team, ever so slightly favoring Whispering Almond with the timing of the misses.
Blaze's first map. She's doing all right. As I say that, going to be missing. So that does give combo advantage back to El Dupa. Not for long. Mistia going to be trading it as well. Azerate still holding strong. Exarch gone. Azerite gone. It's Chomik, Fancy, and Bartek, the only combos remaining. And we're only 1/3 of the way through the map.
Man, this is just like the Chomik solo carry method right here for El Dupa, and unfortunately it's just not working out. Chomik Box not able to hold off the advance of multiple ridiculous scores from the other team as well. Fancy Lad and Chomik Box missing at the same point. Bartek, however, still holding on to the full combo. You forget sometimes with how good this guy is at double time. He's also an incredible hidden reading player and hidden stream player. Does finally drop that FC, but so does just about everybody else. There's basically no combo anywhere aside from kinda combo on Kablaze right now. This map's still pretty difficult, by the way. 200k advantage for Whispering Almond right now, and it doesn't look like that's going over to El Dupa anytime soon.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how Team Boom had 4 S ranks on this, I'm going to be entirely honest with you.
Yeah, you're seeing now in this matchup, this is winners finals, by the way, between these two teams. This is the winners finals. Like, both of these teams are still winners bracket and having this much trouble with this map. It kind of puts them into perspective exactly how ridiculous some of the scores that we saw in our previous losers finals matchup really were. As we now get some extra combo on the side of Whispering Almond going into the end of the map. 350k, 360k in their favor by the end, and that is a 3-0 start to set number 2. Rapidly closing in on the 5 points they need to close this out and advance into the top 2 of the tournament. Guarantee themselves that spot in the proper grand finals.
As we get into Okayu, Mogu Mogu, we're going to be getting into awkward... I'm sorry, I had to do it. I'm sorry, man. I had to. I see the opportunity, I go for it, alright? Don't blame me. This is the awkward aim-oriented hidden map. Lots of just awkward angles and snap-oriented aim in general for this map. And it is hell on earth, the combo. There is no part in this map where you can feel confident in comboing. The entire map just kind of throws you, and it just throws you for a loop.
Man. This guy and his VTubers. Correct about the map, though. Really, really tough to correctly aim all of the jumps in this map. Lots of sections where, you know, you're really looking at some very, very awkward sorts of patterning that are just so easy to, you know, under-aim or over-aim or go off to one side or the other of the notes just because you're not expecting it to be exactly at that position in the map. Very high BPM as well, 240 beats per minute on this map, so you have to be relatively comfortable with the style of mapping and be able to very quickly transition between notes. Otherwise, you're just going to be left behind.
Going to be seeing Airyu, Badu, Bartek, Fancy in for Whispering Almond on this map pick. Fleslin, Exarch, Chomik, and Mistia on the side of El Dupa. Same roster from the Hidden 2 we saw earlier. Actually, no, not same roster. Fleslin coming in for Twajastara. And we're going to be waiting for Fancy to catch up here. Just give us a few minutes. There you go.
Yeah, just an ever so slight wait time for I'm a Fancy Lad here. We'll get everybody caught up to each other. Slight Ackley, it looks like, for Whispering Almond at the start of the map. We do see some breaks already coming out. Airyu, Chomik, and Fleslin all finding those misses for either team. 2 misses, now 3 for El Dupa's. Exarch drops down right before the slow section. Not going to do well for the overall team score here. Mistia now holding the only full combo for El Dupa. The accuracy not doing them any favors, but Badu, Fancy Lad, and Bartek looking very comfortable on this for Whispering Almond. And just a reminder, Hidden 2 and Hidden 1 were two picks that were actually swapped back and forth. Last set, El Dupa had picked Hidden 2. We didn't get to see it, but that was a pick that they went for. And last set, Whispering Almond picked Hidden 1, and we did not get to see it. So very clearly, Hidden 2 going in the favor of Whispering Almond. Now hoping for Hidden 1 to go the way of El Dupa, but it doesn't seem like that's the case. 3 full combos still for Whispering Almond, Badu, Fancy, and Bartek. Bartek finally dropping, but still Badu and Fancy holding combo after the first Ki time, and nobody on El Dupa able to say the same.
That is actually huge. Badu and Fancy keeping combo through that section. That is not easy at all. That's why everyone else has missed there. These combos are insane from them. What?
And we're finally into another slow section after that Ki time, but yeah, you saw some of the spacing, the nearly cross screens at 240 BPM. Not exactly easy patterns to deal with, in addition to some of the other awkward patterns that are in this map. So yeah, very, very good combos from the members of Whispering Almond, still holding on again to 2 full combos halfway through. 99% accuracy on both of them as well. No slouches there either.
Yeah, halfway through the map, the combo's still holding strong. And there's not really any combo on the side of El Dupa. Chomik and Exarch trying to build it up. Fancy does break as well as Bartek. So now just Badu left on the full combo. The only combo on their side. Exarch is gone. Mistia is gone. Badu is gone. Chomik Box now with the only combo remaining. Airyu slight combo advantage as well. But it's now Chomik Box holding this combo. That is going to be key here.
But look at the score lead already built up for Whispering Almond. It's almost 400,000 score. And the accuracy is just making this an uphill battle for El Dupa to come back from as well. All of those repeated misses for the supporting members of El Dupa. Just doing Chomik Box no favors here, trying to solo carry this map. Airyu does drop the combo, but Badu kind of has some as well. Bartek and Fancy Lad struggling here near the end of the map. Badu with the cursor dance and Chomik in the slow section. Oh my god! You've got to be kidding me, man! This dude has put on such a show throughout this entire match. To miss like that when you're the only one on your team holding combo, it's just too much. It's just too much.
This is painful. Is going to unfortunately end up securing the point for Whispering Almond despite the repeated breaks from Airyu and pretty much everyone at the end here. But that is just not something you want to see at all, and I am sure he knows that. He was not happy about that miss in the slightest.
So, to be fair anyway, he would have needed about 500k extra on the score that he has here to really make the win happen for his team. Which is to say he would have needed to full combo, so I don't think that's happening regardless. But man, you're still going to be kicking yourself after that miss, regardless of whether it would have won you the map. You're still going to be sort of looking back and saying, man, what could I have done better? 1 miss for Badu, 2 misses for Fancy Lad, by the way, at the end of that map. Kind of actually nutty miscount for the both of them. Really strong scores.
Just in comparison, every other player, including them on the others on Whispering Almond, had above 10 misses. That is not okay. And we're going to be getting into Hard Rock 2 next. This is El Dupa's pick once again. Seeing if they can at least get a point on the board instead of getting clean swept again here in set 2.
Yeah, they've really got to turn it on here, like you said, if they want to avoid the double 5-0 perfect sweep from Whispering Almond. This would be an incredibly one-sided winners finals if that were the case. This is an act test, though. It's an act test in Hard Rock, and we might maybe see a couple players that we haven't seen yet, I don't think, from the side of El Dupa. If we do, if we are looking for players who are going to be very strong on the act test, I would be hoping that Stoof is here for this map from their side. Absolutely a player you look to do very well on these types of act test Hard Rock maps. He's very strong in last Corsace on his team there. Likely going for maybe some players like Exarch. Probably Chomik Box still staying in for this one as well. He's been playing so well recently for El Dupa. Has been a consistent high score for them all throughout Maybe Trev Rasher comes in for this as well from the side of El Dupa. But the Poles, Twistati and Nishni both have been fantastic scorers as well. It's going to be Toyostada and Fleslin joining Exarch and Chomik Box for this one. I'm really surprised not to see Stoof in for this map. I think that probably tells us he's just not here for this winners finals.
That's just unfortunate at that point, but we're going to be seeing Bubbleman, Badoo, Bartek, Azure come in for Whispering Almond here. And early misses from quite a few people. Not going to matter too much, as it was essentially traded out. 2 FCs on both sides to begin things with, and accuracies pretty much across the board, except for Bubbleman right now at 97%. Bartek not too far behind at 95, and that's making all the difference right now as we get into the first techie part of the map. And this is where accuracies just drop. No one now at an A-rank accuracy. Highest is Badoo at 90, actually Azurite at 93% just about now. And Flajastar with the miss, it's going to give combo advantage to Whispering Almond. Badoo as well missing. Chomik Box, that's a Bancho miss. Fleslin does trade, and that is an actual miss. Azurite as well. Exarch and Chomik versus Bartek and Bubbleman right now.
Back advantage for the side of Whispering Almond now. You see 92, 93 for Bubbleman, but he drops down on the aim control section. Finds so many misses on the flow aim, trades with Exarch as well. And it's a battle of poles here. It looks like Bartek is going to be winning that battle with Chomik Box, though, as Chomik finds another miss here. And this is just the closeout from Whispering Almond. They've had the consistent team scores all throughout, and even with Bartek on the pop-off play, still the full combo here. 3/4 of the way through, still FCing for Bartek. It's Badoo on the backing combo. That means that even with that miss, they are still going to be able to close this out. 400k nearly in the favor of Whispering Almond. This is an absolute stomp here. The double 5-0 perfect sweep for Whispering Almond against El Dupa.
Absolutely insane scores coming from Bartek here. That was an unfortunate slider break, especially considering he comboed a majority of that last section there, but that is absolutely insane from them. Badoo as well, FCing that entire last part. That is bonkers, to say the least. 2 0 misses from them. Almost an S rank from Badoo, mind you. 92.2% on him. I believe that is the highest accuracy we've seen on this map. Absolutely ridiculous stuff.
Yeah, those are very, very good scores from the side of Whispering Almond, and despite the fact that it was a perfect sweep, we did see some relatively strong scores from the side of El Dupa as well, particularly Chomik Box, as he's been a pop-off member all throughout the tournament for this team, and he has continued being that consistently strong presence in this winners finals as well. Hopefully he can continue to put up some of those strong scores in the grand finals. They are going to be facing off against Team in the losers bracket grand finals next weekend. It's going to be versus El Dupa in that losers bracket grand finals. Whispering Almond will face off against the winner of those teams to compete for the title of Corsace Open 2021 champion next weekend.
Yeah, El Dupa not out of the tournament yet. Could be dropping it down to losers grand finals, still in the top 3. Whispering Almond going to be securing themselves a top 2 spot. That's going to be it for matches in this finals weekend. There's no more matches, and that is going to be it from us.